And I quote, "I'll be there in a minute. Give me a second."
Time is relative, folks. Time is relative.
Yes. So, hey, cheers to everybody in the chat. They're a division rival. I don't care how many wins they get. Screw them.
That wasn't the take I was expecting to hear.
I want to gush over watching live Chris Tanev.
I think that we completely underestimate the skill it takes to play defense.
One highlight or several highlights does not a Calder trophy make.
I'm stepping in here. I'm going to be the crotchety old man here. They need to learn patience. They need to understand the tension, everything, and the drama.
How dare! Look at this. How is McDavid not getting a penalty?
You guys need to calm down with this, okay? You guys need to calm down with it.
Well, hello and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Tuesday, December the 6th. You can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network as we do our live news pack. I didn't do one yesterday, missed yesterday. We had our podcast, though, that we did on Saturday spent a good chunk of time talking about the Vancouver Canucks and what was going on with them, the Brock Besser situation going forward. All what happened on Saturday with the healthy scratch, the controversy around the healthy scratch, him getting back into the lineup. And more to talk about with the Canucks today. We'll get into also the Flames, of course, come back. They beat they don't come back. They almost lose a lead to the Arizona Coyotes, but they are able to hang on and beat the Arizona Coyotes 3-2. Nathan MacKinnon goes down in Colorado, and Colorado's in a wild card spot. Do you realize that? And Bruce Cassidy goes back to Boston, and Vegas beats the Bruins, and Paul Maurice returns to Winnipeg to face the Jets, and Shane Wright is back, and he faces the Montreal Canadiens tonight. So some very interesting stuff, but we'll start with that Canadiens-Canucks game. Felt like a Canadiens home game last night, but it really was at Rogers Arena, 7-6 the final score, 4-0 after one for the Montreal Canadiens. The Canucks got off to a pretty good start overall. Took the play, but Cole Caulfield gets a goal, his 14th. Nick Suzuki got his 14th on a another one of what's becoming kind of classic. Sorry, JT Miller, his classic errant drop a pass led to Caden Gooley setting up Nick Suzuki to make it 2-0. Then Sean Monahan gets his 6th. And then Michael Pezzetta gets his first of the year. And it's 4-0 after one for Montreal. And Connor Garland, his first goal in close to 20 games, his 4th of the year from Kuzmenko. Ilya Mikheyev, that makes it 4-1. Then at 18:28, Ilya Mikheyev gets his 7th, makes it 4-3, his first of this game from Pettersson and Besser. By the way, I really... we'll touch on Besser here in a second in a different sense, but Pettersson and Besser looked pretty good together overall. I mean, it just felt like they were connected for most of the night. I thought they were really strong. Bo Horvat got his 20th of the year. Yes, Bo Horvat has 20 goals, made it 4-3 in the third. Ilya Mikheyev tied it at 4, and then Jack Studnicka made it 5-4 for Vancouver, and then Christian Dvorak comes back, ties it for Montreal 5-5. Josh Anderson makes it 6-5. Then Andrei Kuzmenko, it was a wild third period, 18:35, especially late, ties it at 6. We go into overtime. Pettersson beats out old foe Mike Matheson, and the Canucks come away with the 7-6 victory. The Canucks are 7-3 in their last 10. They're 2 points out of a playoff spot. They split the homestand. There's a lot to not like about the Canucks, and there's a lot that you can actually like about the Canucks. They're the most confusing team, one of the most confusing teams in the NHL. Them or in St. Louis are the two most confusing teams, I think, right now in the National Hockey League. And so I don't know where again, it's hard to kind of evaluate the Canucks. This game is almost epitome of what their year was. A lot of goals, they can score. They don't have the defense or the defensive structure to stop goals. This time they came back from a deficit, which they did against Arizona. It just continues to be a wild year in Vancouver, and that game was the epitome of it. I mean, you got a great game. Pettersson has been unbelievable this year, just overall. I said that said it on the podcast. If this team was in a better record, Pettersson would be in Hart Selke Trophy conversation. He's been that good. He got his 12th goal last night. Bo Horvat making it very tough for the Canucks to sign him, but maybe make it very easy for the Canucks to get a lot for him. Gets his 20th and as well, 20th goal of the year. You had a fight between Arbor Xhekaj and Luke Schenn because Schenn hit Slavkovsky behind the net. Wild game. Martin, for the Canadians' part on this, I really think that they're coming along. There is a lot of excitement in Montreal, but there is a lot still to work on. I think that this is the conclusion that you can come to. Jake Allen made 46 saves against Calgary. Calgary dominated the game against the Canadians. They didn't have the defensive skill, and not many do, to stop McDavid and Draisaitl against the Oilers. And last night, 4-0, you lose the lead. Got some work to do on the defensive side. That's one area they need to continue to work on, defense and goaltending. But there's a lot of offense there for sure. But I got to build that defense up. But it's a big win for the Canucks, and ultimately a big win for the Flames as well. They got off to a little bit of a slow start overall against the Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes, the one thing that the Coyotes can do is put you to sleep. You don't expect much from them. You do expect, I think a lot of teams still aren't taking them very lightly, but one guy that they're not talking about enough as a good goaltender in the National Hockey League is Karel Vejmelka. He's 6-7-3. He's kept the Coyotes in games. He's played pretty solidly overall. And he's one guy that he's kind of been he's quietly underrated as a goaltender, Vejmelka. He's a good goaltender. Arizona's just not a good team. But the Flames did wake up. They got a goal from Dylan Dubé from Tanev and Kadri, and then Lindholm from Kadri and Huberdeau on the power play. Shane Gostisbehere, bit of a C&I shot, knocked one in to made it 2-1 after 2. Pardon me. Jacob Chychrun gets his third second straight from Keller and Gostisbehere, tied it at 2, and then Nazem Kadri on the power play from Toffoli and Huberdeau. And the Flames come away with the 3-2 victory over the Arizona Coyotes. That line of, Kadri had a really good game. Dubé, Mangiapane, that line had a really good game. They've had a really good couple week or so after some struggles for sure. Certainly they're starting to get going, which I think is a good sign. The other good sign in Calgary is that pairing of Chris Tanev and Mackenzie Weegar are starting to find their groove. And when this Flames team finds that groove, which is, I think we had to expect that this was going to be a tough start with all these new players and the significance of everything that happened emotionally, they're starting to find the groove. I think they're starting to find the groove. And if that's the case, the Flames will be better for it. So, good win for the Flames. I mean, it's Arizona. It's one of those you probably should win, but Arizona doesn't go away. Arizona fights. They just don't have the confidence to actually win a game. But you got 16 minutes from Kadri, 16 minutes from Mangiapane, Dubé 15 minutes. Probably needed to be a bit better defensively, but he's starting to show some fight and battle in there. And 24 minutes from Rasmus Andersson. You've got last night. You got Chris Tanev with 21. So it's starting to it's there. And Dan Vladar was solid, and that allows you to just keep Markstrom rested as much as you can and kind of keep him fresh mentally. That's the good thing. So for the Flames, it's a good win to keep rolling. And they got the Minnesota Wild on Wednesday. That's going to be a good matchup. And Vancouver, by the way, they're off to San Jose on Wednesday as well. A couple of other things from last night. The Vegas Golden Knights, Bruce Cassidy returned to Boston. And, well, the Vegas Golden Knights found a way to win. Logan Thompson, another quiet story of the National Hockey League in terms of, if you want to talk about underrated goaltenders, pulls out the 4-3 shootout win. And was a big win for Vegas there. They're finding people to get goal. Paul Cotter gets 2 goals. That's what Vegas is finding a way to do. They're finding ways to get things done, and they win in a shootout there. And Philadelphia beats Colorado last night. That's one part of it. Carter Hart played a pretty solid game, but Nathan McKinnon left with an upper body injury. No word how long he's out, but McKinnon, Landeskog, Nichushkin, Rodriguez are 4 of the top forwards that are out. They've played 22 forwards this year. A lot of injuries in Colorado. It's going to be interesting to see where they are at. Elliot Friedman was mentioning about Bo Horvat or Jonathan Toews as a target for the Colorado Avalanche. So we'll have to see about that in terms of, we're thinking about trades. Speaking of that, let's chat a little quickly here about Brock Besser. Here, Rick Dollywell mentioned that there were whispers that the Flames were poking around on Besser. Gary Francis said during the second intermission last night that there definitely seems to be some interest. It's funny to hear what the Flames people are thinking and the Canucks people are thinking, because the Canucks people are hoping that are not expecting much to get Brock Besser. I think if that's Calgary, you're expecting a little bit more. I'm hearing Francis mentioned last night that they think it's going to cost a first-round pick. I don't think it's going to cost that much, but I do think it's going to cost something. And I think it's really hard for the Flames to pull this one off. And really, let's be honest here, they got to give Matthew Phillips a shot. They have to. He's leading the AHL in scoring. If you're a legitimate organization that wants people to earn their opportunities, and you've seen it with Oliver Shillington, you've seen it with Adam Ruzicka, I think it's only fair to give Matthew Phillips a shot before you try to swing for the fences for that scoring forward, whoever it is. And I don't think it will be Brock Besser for the Flames. But I still think that the ultimate thing for the Flames is give Matthew Phillips a shot. But so lots going on. We'll see what's happening. Dollywell said that there was 10 or 11 teams at the Canucks game last night. So we'll see. There's smoke out there. We'll see if the fire is started in terms of that. Games tonight in the National Hockey League. We've got a few going on here. We've got one of the big matchups will be in Toronto when 2 Hart Trophy candidates, Jason Robertson, third in the league in scoring, versus Mitch Marner on that 19-game point streak, as the Dallas Stars take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so Toronto sitting in second in the Atlantic at 36 points, 5 behind the Bruins, who, by the way, that loss last night, shootout loss, was their first loss at home. They still have not lost in regulation, the Bruins. Dallas is in first place in the Central Division with 33 points there. So continuing to roll along. That should be, I think, one of the better games of the night. The LA Kings are heading to Ottawa to take on the Ottawa Senators. The Kings are sitting in third place with 30 points in the Pacific Division. Ottawa has dug themselves a hole, but are trying to get out of it. They've won 4 of their last 5. So Ottawa's starting to play a little bit better. They lost Artem Zub to an injury here. So another loss on that defensive front, which they're not the strongest at. Chicago taking on New Jersey. New Jersey continues to lead the Metropolitan and has tied with Boston for the most points in the Eastern Conference with 41. Chicago is in the Connor Bedard sweepstakes, moving slowly there at 18 points. Second last in the Western Conference. You also got Columbus taking on Pittsburgh. Chris Letang, by the way, skated today. That was great to see. They're sitting in the wild card spot. The Penguins are first wild card spot in 30 points. Columbus, worst record in the the Eastern Conference with 18 points, could be in the Bedard Bowl there. You got St. Louis taking on the Islanders. The Blues have lost 8 in a row. The Blues have won 8 in a row. They've lost 6 of 7. They've been all over the map. Jordan Binnington continues to be an issue for the Blues in terms of if he's not smacking a player on the face, he's allowing bad goals. He allowed a gaff last night. And so that's not good. The Islanders are continuing to get good goaltending from probably the best goalie right now. Playing one of the best is Ilya Sorokin for the Islanders. They're 16-10. And you got Florida taking on Winnipeg. This is Paul Maurice's return to Winnipeg. Florida is out of a playoff spot, 1 point behind the Detroit and the Rangers at 28 points. Winnipeg has been playing pretty well. Thank you very much. Connor Hellebuck, one of the better, also playing very well. And they're 2 points behind the Central Division leading Dallas Stars for second. So that should be a good game. And you got Carolina taking on Anaheim. Carolina in second place, 8 points behind New Jersey in the Metropolitan Division there. Anaheim, the worst record in the entire National Hockey League with 15 points. And you also have, as mentioned, Shane Wright went on his 5-game conditioning stint, played very well with the Coachella Valley Firebirds, now playing the Montreal Canadiens tonight in a revenge game. Montreal looking to rebound from last night's loss to Vancouver. Seattle sitting currently in second in the Pacific Division, 6 points behind the Vegas Golden Knights. So a lot of games going on there. So that's that. Speaking of the junior rosters, no word yet on whether Shane Wright will join that, but the Canadian World Junior Selection Camp happened, and U.S. as well. That happened yesterday. So 15 first-round picks are vying for spot. Of course, Kevin Krasinski includes that. Zachary Bolduc, Zach Dean, Nathan Gaucher, Brendan Othman, Reed Schaefer of the Oilers, Carson Lambos, Nolan Allen are included in that. Connor Bedard and Adam Vantelli are also at the camp as well for Canada. No word yet on Shane Wright. Talked to Dylan Gunther will be joining that team for Arizona as well. And for the U.S., Logan Cooley is on that selection, is in the camp. Luke Hughes as well, brother of Quinn and Jack. Tyler Boucher, Chaz Lucius, Rutger McGroarty, Jamie Snuggerud, and Cutter Gauthier. No word on Matthew Coronado on that list yet. Here, just quickly looking. Zach Ostrovchuk from Vancouver is on that list as well. Logan Stankoven for Canada. Colton Dock as well. That will be a sneaky one, as well as Caden Bankier getting an opportunity. Ethan Sampson, I think a pretty quietly good defenseman for the Prince George Cougars will be there. And Olin Zellweger from the Everett Silvertips. Ethan Del Mastro as well. Good goaltenders are Brennan, Goudreau, and Milic, and William Russo for Canada. For the U.S., it's Babrinko, Augustine, Musalek, and Andrew Oak. So be interesting. We'll see what happens for that there, as well as we'll see what happens with the WHL selection camp and the Canadian Junior Selection Camp as that starts after Christmas. So that's also going on there as well. And a couple of other things. Before we go here, Jacob Voracek is talking he might miss the rest of the season with a concussion from the Columbus Blue Jackets. What a rough year they're having right now with injuries. They've had injuries to Laine. He's been in and out of the lineup. Lots of just not able to get through that. But Voracek suffered a concussion during the when a hit from Dryden Hunt during the Global Series in Finland. But he's not sure if he's going to come back. Voracek said he's not contemplating retirement. He is signed through next season, but no details on his symptoms. In terms of other injuries and stuff going on here, we've got Evgeny Malkin, Crosby, game time decisions tonight for the Penguins. We'll see what that happens there. Cassidy Smith was also absent with an illness. Malkin and Crosby took part in optional morning skate today. Jonathan Toews is a game time decision because of an illness when the Blackhawks play the Devils. And Ryan McDonagh out 2 to 4 weeks with an upper body injury. He's been placed on injured reserve by the Predators. He was injured when he was struck in the face with the puck in the 4-1 win against the Islanders. Brendan Gallagher, who did not play on this West Coast road trip, did not play in his hometown of Vancouver. Will miss at least 2 weeks for the Canadiens with a lower body injury. And David Savard did not play last night with an upper body injury. And Sean Monahan left the game last night as well for the Canadiens. So we'll have to see about that. James Van Riemsdyk hopes to return later this week for the Flyers when they play either the Capitals on Wednesday and the Vegas Golden Knights on Friday. He had surgery to repair his broken left index finger on October the 28th. So we'll see if he is back. So that is what's going on there as well. And looking at the AHL and the WHL, and we'll wrap her up here. We've got Christian Wolanin was named the AHL Player of the Week from the Abbotsford Canucks. He, as the Abbotsford Canucks here, 3 assists in a 6-3 win over Bakersfield, assist and first star honors in the rematch Wednesday against the Condors, and he picked up another assist when the Canucks got past Laval 7-5. 2 games today in the AHL. It's Colorado and Bakersfield, and then we also have Hershey hosting a game tonight. The Hershey Bears will be hosting that game against the Charlotte Checkers. WHL, we'll wrap it up there. We've got the Week 10 rankings, by the way, came out. Number 10, Saginaw Spirit of the OHL. London Knights, number 9 of the OHL. Sherbrooke Phoenix, number 8 of the Q. Victoriaville Tigers, number 7. Portland Winterhawks sitting at number 6. Saskatoon Blades, number 5. Number 4, Ottawa 67s. The Winnipeg Ice now fall to 3 and are not the top team ranked in the WHL. That is the Seattle Thunderbirds. They're sitting at 2, and the Quebec Remparts continue to be ranked number 1 in CHL. And in terms of the WHL Player of the Week, that's Logan Stankoven of the Kamloops Blazers. 2 goals, 7 assists, 9 points in 3 games for the Blazers. And the goalie of the week is going to selection camp for Canada, Thomas Bilic of the Seattle Thunderbirds. 2 games, 0.50 goals against average, 981 save percentage. So that'll be today. The games, that'll be that for today. And of course, you can follow us all individually on Twitter. Reminder, we did have our podcast on Sunday. We just tightening things up here with the schedule on Thursday, but you can follow us all individually on Twitter. And also follow Fireside Chat. They had Mike Gould on, who did a pretty good review of the Calgary Wranglers. So check that out as well. But you can follow us all individually on Twitter. Sean Beardy Canuck 03, Tyler TNOBLE, Devin Gordhav 09, Christian Schneid's SCHNEIDZ. I am KEVOLE. Shifts and Pucks, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. And of course, check out Fireside Podcasts as well. They do their Flames podcast every Monday. And we thank you for watching. We thank you for listening. And we will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.